The project first entered development in 2009. The proposed film adaptation went through 3 phases of planning. Initially, a single film with screenwriter David Kojanik, then the dual film project. First with Cary Fukunaga attached as director and co-writer, then with Andy Muschietti. On March 12, 2009, Variety reported that Warner Bros. Would bring Stephen King's novel to the big screen, with David Kojanik adapting the novel, and Dan Lee, Roy Lee, and Doug Davison producing the piece. When Kojanik learned of Warner Bros.' plans to adopt King's novel, he went after the job, knowing that Warner Bros. Was committed to adapting it as a single feature film. Kojanik began to reread the novel in an attempt to try and find a structure that would accommodate such a large number of characters in 2 different time periods. Kojanik worked with Lin, Lee, and Davison on The Invasion from 2007, and he knew that they would champion good storytelling and allow him the time to work out a solid first draft of the screenplay. Kojanik spoke of the remake being set in the mid-1980s and in the present, mirroring the 20-odd year gap King uses in the book, and with great deal of care and attention paid to the backstories of all these characters. Kojanik also mentioned that Warner Bros. Wished for the film to be rated R, saying we could really honor the book and engage with the traumas that these characters endure. He said that his dream choice for Pennywise would be Buster Keaton if he were still alive, and that Pennywise that he scripted is less self-conscious of his irony. On June 7, 2012, The Hollywood Reporter revealed that Cary Fukunaga was boarding the project as director and would co-write the script with Chase Palmer. The producers were now Roy Lee, Dan Lin, and Seth Grahame-Smith and David Katzenberg. On May 21, 2014, Warner Bros. Was announced to have moved the film to its New Line Cinema division. On December 5, 2014, in an interview with Vulture, Dan Lin announced that the first film would be a coming-of-age story about the children tormented by it, and the second will skip ahead in time as those same characters band together to continue the fight as adults. Lin also stated that Fukunaga was then only committed to directing the first film, though he was currently closing a deal to co-write the second. Lin concluded by mentioning King, to which he remarked that the most important thing is that King gave us his blessing. We didn't want to make this unless he felt it was the right way to go. Tim Curry was offered the chance to reprise the role during early development, but turned it down. Ben Mendelsohn was also offered the role and was interested, but turned it down when he could not agree with the studio on his salary. Tilda Swinton and Richard Armitage were in the running to play Pennywise. Other actors who were rumored to play Pennywise included Johnny Depp, Tom Hiddleston, Jackie Earle Haley, Jim Carrey, Kirk Acevedo, William Dafoe, Paul Giamatti, Doug Jones, and Channing Tatum. Stephen R. Hart also auditioned to play Pennywise. On May 4, 2015, it was officially announced that Will Poulter had been cast to play Pennywise after Fukunaga was blown away by his audition. Ty Simpkins was then considered to play the role of Bill from The Losers Club. Chloe Grace Moretz was strongly considered for the role of Beverly. However, due to the time the project spent in development hell, casting did not begin until Moretz was 19. She was deemed too old for the role. Coincidentally, Moretz starred in Carrie, another Stephen King adaptation. On May 25, 2015, it was reported that Fukunaga had dropped out as the director of it. According to The Wrap, Fukunaga clashed with the studio and did not want to compromise its artistic vision in the wake of budget cuts by New Line, which greenlit the first film at $30 million. However, Fukunaga maintained that that was not the case, stating he had bigger disagreements with New Line over the direction of the story. On Fukunaga's departure, Stephen King wrote, "The remake of it may be dead or undead, but we'll always have Tim Curry." The Duffer Brothers originally wanted to direct the movie, but were overlooked as they were not established enough. They went on to create Stranger Things, which co-stars Finn Wolfhard. On July 16, 2015, it was announced that Andy Muschietti was in negotiations to direct it, with New Line beginning the search for a new writer to tailor a script to Muschietti's vision. The announcement also confirmed the possible participation of Muschietti's sister, Barbara Muschietti, as producer. On April 22, 2016, it was indicated that Will Poulter, who had been cast to portray Pennywise in Fukunaga's version, had dropped out of the film due to a scheduling conflict, and that executives were meeting with actors to portray the antagonist. Also that day, New Line Cinema set the film for a release of September 8, 2017. Jaden Lieberher originally auditioned for the role of Eddie, but ended up getting the role of Bill. Jaden would be replacing Ty Simpkins, who was originally cast to play Bill. Hugo Weaving and Bill Skarsgård were the two finalists for the role of Pennywise after Will Poulter left the project. Skarsgård eventually got the role, reportedly due to his ability to play a more fun and childlike Pennywise in addition to a creepy Pennywise, while Weaving reportedly fell short in playfulness and could only play creepy. Skarsgård actually showed up to his audition wearing clown makeup. Finn Wolfhard was cast to play Richie. Jack Dylan Grazer originally auditioned for the role of Bill, but ended up getting the role of Eddie. Wyatt Olaf also auditioned for the role of Bill, but ended up getting the role of Stanley. Chosen Jacobs would be cast to play the role of Mike. Jeremy Ray Taylor would be cast to play the role of Ben. Owen Teague would be cast to play the role of Patrick. Nicholas Hamilton would be cast to play the role of Henry Bowers. Javier Botet would be cast to play the Leper Man. Botet also starred in the film Mama. Sophia Lillis would be cast to play the role of Beverly Marsh. Stephen Bogart was cast to play the role of Al Marsh. On March 23, 2017, Benjamin Wallfish was announced as the composer of the IT score. Costume designer Janie Bryant spoke of crafting Pennywise's form-fitting suit and the inspirations it drew from, involving a number of eras among the medieval, Renaissance, and Victorian era. Bryant explained that the costume incorporates all these otherworldly past lives, highlighting the point that Pennywise is a clown from a different time. Bryant played with multiple eras as a way of reflecting Pennywise's immortality and added a doll-like quality to the costume. She further stated that the pants being short, the high waistline of the jacket, and the fit of the costume is a very important element. It gives the character a childlike quality. Judith, the woman in the portrait whose form it assumes to terrify Stan, did not appear in the novel. Muschietti based the sequence on the paintings of Amedeo Modigliani, one of which hung in his childhood home, and which he found frightening. The creature in Muschietti's previous film, Mama, was also based on Modigliani's work. Nicholas Brooks was the overall visual effects supervisor, and visual effects company Rodeo Effects worked on most of the visual effects on it. Bill Skarsgård did research into the Psycho universe to find his own way to perform Pennywise. He got inspiration from The Shining. A lot of the lines were actually improvised by the kids. Most of the Richie-Eddie banter was improv. Jack Dylan Grazer, who played Eddie, actually wrote a lot of Finn Wolfhard's jokes. Pennywise's costume in the film is much more faithful to the description in the novel in comparison to the Tim Curry costume in the 1990 TV miniseries, including his orange hair and the orange pom-poms going down his silver suit. Director Andy Muschietti kept Bill Skarsgård separate from the child actors up until they had to shoot scenes together. On the day of their first scenes together, the production staff warned the kids about how scary Skarsgård could be while in character. The kids brushed this off, claiming that they knew he was just an actor in a costume, and that they were professionals and would be fine. However, when the time came for Skarsgård to be Pennywise for the scene, the kids were genuinely terrified. Director Andy Muschietti confirmed that Bill Skarsgård spoke in Swedish sometimes while in character as Pennywise. Bill Skarsgård had admitted that he was so into his performance as Pennywise that he would have constant nightmares during and after production. There were rumors at one point that Bill Skarsgård would not be returning to play Pennywise in the second film due to concerns that the role was negatively affecting his mental health. However, a week before the film was released, Skarsgård confirmed that he was officially attached to the sequel and had already begun meeting with director Andy Muschietti to discuss ideas for the character in the film. 27 is a number which is often associated with this story. This film was released 27 years after the original 1990 television miniseries. In the book, it is mentioned that it returns to Derry approximately every 27 years. Jonathan Brandis, who played young Bill in the original film, died at 27 years old. This movie was released 1 month after Bill Skarsgård's 27th birthday. The official US release date is 9/8/2017. 9 plus 8 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 7 equals 27. Filming began on June 27, 2016, and officially wrapped on September 20th, 2016, one day before author Stephen King turned 69 years old. Some shots were filmed in Bangor, Maine, while the others were shot in Toronto and Port Hope, Ontario, Canada. The film's first teaser trailer generated 197 million views globally within 24 hours of its release, breaking the record that was set by The Fate of the Furious at 139 million views. The trailer for this film enraged real-life professional clowns, who stated that the Pennywise character will encourage people to think of clowns as scary and murderous. Rallies to defend the good name in general of clowns in the US were planned following the month It was released in theaters. Around the time of the theatrical release of this film, in Lidditz, Pennsylvania, there was a prank that involved a series of red balloons tied to sewer gates throughout the town, mimicking one of the book covers of the It novel. The prank had frightened the citizens, including the Lidditz police force. A number of clowns have been spotted in various American states including Florida, New York, Wisconsin, and Kentucky, and subsequently in other Western countries from August 2016. By October 2016, in the wake of hundreds of clown sightings across the United States and Canada, the phenomenon had spread from North America to Europe and Latin America. A few weeks after the release of this film, in Moscow, Burger King Russia had filed a complaint against their longtime rival McDonald's and wanting the film to be banned, citing that their mascot Ronald McDonald supposedly looked similar to Pennywise and would even say never trust a clown. It was released on September 8, 2017. It had grossed $327.5 million in the United States and Canada and $372.7 million in other territories, for a worldwide total of $700.2 million against a production budget of $35 million. A few days before its release, the film became Fandango's top horror pre-seller of all time, eclipsing Paranormal Activity 3, as well as setting the record as the site's top pre-seller among September releases, beating Sully. The film made $13.5 million from Thursday night previews, setting the record for highest amount by both an R-rated, besting Deadpool's $12.6 million, and a horror film. It received positive reviews, with critics praising the performances, direction, cinematography, and musical score, with many calling it one of the best Stephen King adaptations. It was nominated for many movie awards and won two, including a Golden Trailer Award for Best Horror Movie and an IGN People's Choice Award for Best Horror Movie. It was released on DVD and Blu-ray on January 9, 2018. Muschietti revealed that the plan is to get production underway for the sequel to It next spring, adding that he'd probably have a script for the second part in January 2018. Ideally, we'd like to start prep in March. He would work again with Gary Dauberman penning the script. Later in December 2017, agent Cody Banks writer Jeffrey Jurgensen was also listed as a screenwriter. On September 25, 2017, New Line Cinema announced that the sequel would be released on September 6, 2019. I hope you've enjoyed this brief look at It 2017, and I thank you for watching.